Hey guys, since we are getting close to the new 2020 presidential election, which would be in about 2.5 weeks on November 3rd, there has been a lot of misinformation floating around the internet, the TV, just pretty much everywhere that you see. And so the title of this week's lesson, or what we're going to try to figure out or dive into a little bit, is how do we fight fake news? Now, this term, fake news, was coined when our current president was running for president in 2015. He said everything against him was fake. We couldn't believe in the media, and a lot of people did believe that. But we had to do our own research. We had to figure out what is fake, what is not. We cannot just take one person's word for it. There's no reason you should take even just one person's word for it. You should always look it up yourself. And to do that, I do provide you for some websites, some fact-checking websites such as Snopes, Lee Stories, PolitiFact, and FactCheck.org. So whenever a story comes out, these four websites are really popular and they're really accurate because they pull from all the resources where they get their answers from, and they dive deep to find pretty much just the truth. And that's all they worry about is the facts. They don't have any biases. Now, speaking of biases, there's this word right here. So, some media outlets or some websites, some Facebook pages have biases, meaning they prefer one party to the other. And so they will try to spin stories or leave out words or comments or things like that to try to get you to be swayed on one side. And these tell you what websites have what biases. So on allsides.com, it shows you articles, and it actually shows you the view from the right, the view from the left, and view from the center. And it's all stuff that is factual and has news backed up by it. Okay, and it pulls from multiple sources, as you can see down here. There's a ton. There's like 5 websites for this one, 5 for this one, and 5 for that one. So it pulls from the right, from this website, from the left, from BuzzFeed News, and from the center, from The Hill, because they are usually pretty down the middle. They just try to tell what is actually happening instead of just trying to side with one side or the other. They try to stay neutral. So I'm giving you this resource so in case in the future you ever want to try to look something up, like, that just seems so crazy. Let me look this up. Here's 4 websites right here that you can actually use to do that, and your parents can use this too. If they don't like one, they can go check the other. Okay? So we are going to try to learn how to fight fake news. This is probably needs to be done with parents and everybody else too. And we need to become super critical thinkers with capes. So basically, we need to become superheroes who can think critically. Because if we just take face value for everything people say, then we're going to fall into a lot of holes and a lot of untruths. And that is exactly how a lot of these online discussions and quibbles and quarrels are starting, because people are believing one side or the other. They're not reading both sides. They're not reading, not actually getting the facts. They're just taking somebody else's word at face value, and that's it. So, here are some posters here that I pulled offline. This is from a Dr. Brian Howson, who's actually started as a gifted teacher. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger to read so you can see it, I can see it better. So first you need to check for the credentials. Who is the author? What makes the author an expert? What is his or her bias? So you need to check the author, because every time there's an article, there's an author usually at the top, and usually their name is clickable. So you can click their name and see what articles they've written before, see if they are pro-Republican, pro-Democrat, pro-progressive, whatever their party affiliate with. You can usually see based on how they're writing. And then you need to check the accuracy. So is this information up to date? Is it based on facts, or where the information come from? So usually to do this, you want to pull from multiple sources or multiple websites to check the accuracy, which is why I provided you with four really good ones. And then you got to check the purpose of the article. What is the purpose? Is it to inform, to entertain? Is it for satire, meaning trying to entertain more, but it's kind of making fun of people? And I have an example like that I want to show you in a minute. Is it a parody, advertisement, news? So what is the purpose of that piece? Is it to try to get somebody angry? Is it try to entertain you, like if it's an article about a celebrity or something, or about a movie? Is it a parody? I mean, is it kind of like a comedy sketch? This is what's exactly what Saturday Night Live does. They do parodies based on the news of the week. And so we just got to figure out the purpose of the articles. or videos, because I mean most people consume their news through videos and they don't read as often as they should. And usually you find more truthful stuff in things that you read. And next we looked at emotion. Is this site designed to invoke an emotional response? How does the site make you feel? So does the website supposed to make you invoke feelings, fear, anger, dread, or is it just simply there just to inform you? You want to use websites that are just to inform you, ones that are not trying to make you upset. Because there are some websites and news outlets that try to rile you up, saying, look who's doing this, look who's doing that. Millennials are doing this. Don't focus on that. Don't get information on those websites or news stories because they're just trying to sway you one way or the other. And then we look at support. What supporting evidence can you find from another site? So if you say, okay, this article seems really crazy, let me go try and find another one. And if it matches verbatim, first check the authors, see if it's the exact same author, because some newspapers hire the exact same authors to publish on multiple websites. And then you can go check on these 4 websites I showed you earlier, because they usually let me exit full screen, because they usually show you different websites where you can get stuff from. So Snopes, Lead Stories, PolitiFact, FactCheck.org, you can use those to check the accuracy of those websites. Okay. Next thing, usually you'll see this a lot, especially on YouTube videos, or if you read an article, they're always towards the bottom of websites, and you start digging yourself into a hole, especially when you're older. So, okay, and then these are clickbait traps. If you ever see anything with these titles, don't click on them because they're utter nonsense. For example, you'll never guess why. So it might say, Donald Trump will win the election. You'll never guess why. Well, if it was that important, they would tell you in the title. What we found was shocking. Again, if it was important, they would put it in the title. 11 things you probably didn't know about your favorite celebrity. That's not important at all. And it's probably their birthday and where they live and stuff that doesn't matter. This one gets a lot of teachers, and I've seen it happen. Number 4, best new tech tools. Number 4 is my favorite. Well, if it was their favorite, why in the world would it be number 4? What every successful person must know. Well, if they want you to know, they put it in the title. Feel better about yourself by doing this. If they want you to feel better, yeah, they put it in the title. Lose weight now by eating these foods. If they wanted you to know the food, they put it in the title. Because 9 times out of 10, you click on those links and they don't even tell you anything about the food. And number 8, how to save money your next purchase. You know how to save money? Don't buy it. Because we buy a whole lot of frivolous things we don't need. So whenever you see these, 9 times, I would honestly say 10 times out of 10, these clickbait traps are just mess and just stuff to get you covered with fake news and make you just dive into a hole that you don't need to go down. Now, some things I want you to put here are just things that you have heard, your parents have heard. If you want to ask them at home, tell them, ask them, and put it on here. Now, I don't want anything vulgar on here. I don't want any ugly words or things you may have heard, but I do want you to put at least 3 things that you have heard or that you think are true about President Donald Trump, and then the same thing for Vice President Joe Biden. We are in an era of fake news, and we need to actually, more people in class, we can dig through these and see if they're actually true or not. And if you are virtual, you're more than welcome to meet with me on Monday or Tuesday in our Google Classroom, and we can check out the articles together. And then I want you to look up the word propaganda, and I want you to define it. And actually, if you have trouble, I do put a link down here to help you define propaganda. Then I want you to put some things that you have heard that might be propaganda once you figure out the definition or read and understand the definition. Because especially in this era, there is so much propaganda going on trying to sway you one way or the other. It's just insane. And you need to understand what's propaganda and then what's factual. And now for the assignment portion. I want you to locate 2 news stories or websites that seem unlikely but it's true. So this is for you to find 2 stories that seems really crazy but it's actually true. And then you can back that up by using those fact-checking websites. And then I want you to find 1 news story or website that has something that sounds real but it's completely fake. Because that is what, I'll give you a hint, that's kind of what propaganda is. They try to trick you into thinking things that are real when it's actually not. Okay, and then I already created number 3 for you because that's what I did down here. Create a slides presentation that contain all 3 stories, and then bonus points If the three stories are related on focus on the same topic. So I would say same topic. It could be politics. It could be a celebrity. It could be based on a video game. It could be based on something in history, because there have been wild things in history. There just really have been. And and when we work through these things, we're going to learn about how they make things fake, how they make them seem true, even when they're not. But the whole goal of this is to become super critical thinkers with our capes. So we're trying to be superheroes, because if y'all can understand this, then you can help your parents or you can help other people, especially when you're older. I mean, this politics now is so important. We just got to make sure that you tell your parents to do research and go out and vote. Don't care who they vote for. That is not my business. But you need to tell your parents that they need to vote, and they need to make sure they look up the information from multiple sources, meaning more than one. So I think this could be a very interesting week for us, and I can't wait to get started. See y'all on Monday.